you like the conference?
Well, very much, I have to say, because it was really sparkling. The conference had a really good, let's say, first of all, good topics, of course, and they allow us to have a very good, a concrete debate. And I think that in these 2 days, in a sort of, we reached much more than in big international conferences, and we discussed about very important topics, and I think that also the young generation enjoyed in listening different points of view that we brought here for all around Europe.
In one of the panels it was mentioned that an NGO should have a role of dissemination and reaching top-level politics, or bringing ideas to European leaders. How do you think that the ideas that were formed here can be brought to European level, to European politicians' agenda?
Well, I think that we as NGOs, but please note that we are not only an NGO, we are the probably most important and ancient international organization for Europe. It is our duty to debate, to think and to propose. We are trying to use all the possible tools that we have at disposal, all the possible channels to channel all these messages to the top of the European Union and the European leaders. It's a hard task, I have to say. If it's hard for us, for Paneuropa, that is one of the most important NGO in this field, I can imagine how hard it is for other non-governmental or international organizations that are not so close, let's say, to these institutions. But I think it's worth to try. It's like the same in the national politics. If you want to change something, you have first of all to be convinced that this is correct, and you have to fight for. We have this channel at disposal, we have to use it. If other NGO has other channels, well, we are ready to help them, and I think that there should be also a cooperation, because in discussion there is our future. And also in one of the panel was very well exposed, underlined, that we have a great lack of leadership. And it's our duty to prepare leaders. These leaders very likely will have a very hard task to join, let's say, the power, because everybody will try to eliminate or to block them, but there is no other basin. Our basin is the basin that has to form and to shape leadership for the future, and this leader, they have to fight for Europe and our common destiny.
I think we can definitely consider the conference successful,
yes,
because it started from the idea of Euroscepticism, which we basically discussed from many different viewpoints, and by the end of the conference we reached a so-called common European identity, or common European identity formation. So starting from Euroscepticism, we reached to the idea that Europe is really needed and more Europe is needed. What was your favorite sentence in the conference, or during the conference?
Well, I have to say that maybe there have been many, I have to say. But given that I was leading the last panel, that was maybe the climax of all this path that you very well described. And it's true, we started with the skepticism and we concluded here in Hungary with a very pro-European move and hope. And that's amazing, I think. It was that sentence that I stressed, that it's a diversity between multiculturalism and cultural diversity. And I think this is very much important, that this is not understood, because it was a surprise also for me today to understand this difference between multiculturalism and cultural diversity. And I think that we understood that Europe is based on cultural diversity. We can cope with that, and this is our enrichment for the future. And that's it, how we have to build the Europe of future, understanding each other, respecting each other, having our cultural identities, but be absolutely clear in that we have also something more, that is this our European framework that is present in us since ever. Europe is a special place with special culture, and all this cultural identity has always been interacting through history.
What's the next step in the project?
The next step of the project is the concluding event, the closing event in Vienna at the end of January. I think it will be a great moment where we will assemble together all the panelists, all the guests, And I think it will be the right moment to rediscuss everything we got through in these 2 years, and finally then to prepare a document to be delivered to the European Commission. And I hope also that the European Commission will take it seriously and will study it and maybe taking some suggestions for the future and our future.
For sure, yes.
For sure. Thank you very much. Thank you.